Hi, girlies. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Elina here.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
I love your shirt, honey.
Thanks. I like yours too. It's not
Well,
like you went and picked it
thanks.
for us.
It's like we're matching for some reason. You know what's funny too? We normally don't plan this, but today we did plan.
And people tell us, they're like, you guys definitely plan. No, we just have the same style.
All those haters that tell us that we like plan to match or wear the same sweatshirt, like, no, we're just on the same wavelength. She's my sister. She's my best friend. So we get it. Like, we think alike.
I think we do laundry at the same time too.
I think we do pretty much everything. Sometimes you'll just text me the most random thought, and I'm like, bitch, I was just thinking that. I love that for us.
We have that twin telepathy.
Yes, I love it. So we do have a major announcement. That's where these shirts come into play. Oh. If you can't tell, we are wearing Miami Marlins t-shirts.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
For a very special reason. We're Marlins girlies now for sure. So we are so excited about this.
Tell them.
Okay. We will be hosting an event with the Miami Marlins. They're having a book event. We are so excited. We will be hosting a panel at the Marlins game. It's going to be a pregame before the game at 5:00 on September 5th.
Yay. We can't wait. I don't know are you a baseball girly?
You know what? I am a sports girly. I love just like, I don't follow baseball so much as I was always raised a football girl, but we were so lucky to have been invited to the Marlins game this past weekend. They reached out to us because they're getting members of the book club community, local girlies to Miami, come out on September 5th. There's going to be a panel hosted by your Book Please podcast girlies, and there's going to be a book swap there. So that'll be really cool because they're going to be raffling off, like basically like calling your raffle ticket number, and then you'll be able to swap a book with whoever you match with. And I think that's such a cool way to expand your palette and like see what somebody else maybe recommends or likes.
And I need that because all I read is thriller.
Yes. So it's super exciting. We'll announce more details as they come. We're going to have a link in our bio on social media, and we'll be posting about our link to get the ticket. So when you get the ticket, the ticket comes with admission to the pregame event, which is what we're hosting. It's at the stadium, which is super exciting. It also comes with a Miami Marlins bookmark, and it comes with a ticket to the game, and we'll all be sitting in the same section. So bring your friends, come hang out with us. We'll all sit together and watch the game after the event. We'll be doing some book talk. It'll be a fun event with like cocktails and whatever, and then we'll all get to sit and watch the game.
Yes, we can't wait. Thank you for having us as well.
Yes, major shout out to Susanna and Gabriella for reaching out to us, for hosting us this past weekend at a game. We had the best time. They are so fun, such a great time, and we cannot wait to take part in this event.
Yeah, so make sure you're following us on social media. We'll be posting updates there. Make sure to set the little alert for when we post, just so you get the first dibs on everything.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank
we cannot
you.
wait to see you there. Now, I need to tell you why I was crying last night watching the Love Island
Crying
finale. Didn't you cry at the finale? You said you cried.
I did, but I would say it was more like
you're like, I wasn't crying like you.
Whoa, you watched more of it than me.
Yeah.
So I can cry watching The Lion King. Like, I'm not that great, but any cute moment, like when the winners did win, I was like, oh, I hope they deserved it. But even if they didn't, I'm still gonna cry happy tears. But
Well, this is kind of just like your behavior with like books and things. Like you're just like, sometimes you'll just like skip to the end or like whatever it is.
Bad.
You are like, I this needs to be studied. Like how? I really wanted to catch up. There's a lot of episodes to like be able to talk about it for the finale, and I had to skip a little bit, and I'm devastated. Like I will immediately go back and fill in the gaps. Like there's a couple that I missed. So, you know, I mean, I saw most of the beginning of the journey. I saw movie night. I saw Casa Amor. I saw all of that. Just towards the end, like those last few episodes when it was getting towards the finale, I just kind of skipped it and went to the end.
See, that's funny. I watched more of the end. So you're like watching and you're like, oh my God, I love this couple. I'm like, you ain't gonna love them in a few episodes.
But I feel like I built such a relationship with them. I've watched almost 30 episodes. I mean, I basically watched the whole thing.
Oof.
Yeah, but I just put it on while I'm doing things like I'm cleaning, I'm doing, you know. But we're going to just say a major spoiler alert, and we're going to take our time before we announce like who won and talk about it. But like this is the time, just letting you know, unlike Pretty Little Thing, that Instagram account, you guys suck. They immediately, right after the finale, and this is a clothing brand, okay? This is a clothing brand. Like, you guys are not like an entertainment news site. You guys have no business doing
this. Aren't people annoyed with them
anyways? They literally posted, yes, they are. We'll talk about Pretty Little Thing, actually, but they posted a montage of the winners, and they were like, and then in the caption, they go, spoiler alert. But the whole photo is a collage of the couple, all different photos of the couple, and like Love Island winners. So
do
like
better.
You can't put spoiler alert in the caption, and then like it's right there. It says the photo and it says winner.
So I don't follow them.
Yeah, no, everyone in the comments was like, immediate unfollow, immediate unfollow. And they were like, you guys aren't even supposed to be doing, like, you have no business doing this anyway.
Are they wearing like any other clothes or anything?
No, quite literally no. Like it was just so, I mean, it didn't look like they even used it in any way to promo. It was just a collage of photos.
Maybe if they got back to people instead of watching the show.
Yeah, their customer service. This is what they did, actually. They started banning customers out of nowhere. Crazy. These longtime customers, because they were making a certain percentage of returns, and everyone was like in the comments, and they're like, why am I banned? Like, I've been a customer for years. I spend hundreds of dollars a month on you guys. And they were like taking a long time to address like all the comments. And people were saying like, your sizes are not consistent. I'll order like two, like a small and a medium, and see which fit, and then I'll send one back. Like, that's what I'm doing.
I do it all the time, everywhere.
That's normal. Yeah. And especially in today's day and age when like most people, I mean, I feel like a lot of the times I'm shopping online.
I always get two sizes because I may have an event coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to return the one that doesn't fit.
Correct. And a lot of people do that. And they were like, we only banned select customers who had a return rate that was this percentage of returns. Okay, well, you lost a lot of customers because those comments were flooded.
Even if they are returning, they're still buying things. I don't understand what the issue is.
Yeah. And exactly. And people were like also pissed because a lot of them are like they have like a loyalty club. And they were like, oh, so you kept my subscription money for the loyalty club, but you banned me from making a future purchase.
The nerve.
It's also stupidity because like anyone can just go make another account with them. So it's like you just made yourself look bad and ban these people, and it's not like it's not accessible for them. Like, what would happen if you got banned and you wanted some? I mean, obviously you're pissed, but if you wanted something, you could literally use your other email or text me, and I'll be like, hey girl, I got it. Like, here you go.
Sick. Shopping at Princess Molly? Is that what it's called?
And Princess Polly.
Molly?
Polly.
I think there's a Molly too. I could be wrong.
There is a Molly something, but I don't think it's Princess Molly.
Oops.
There's Princess Polly.
Listen, I shop on Amazon. I shop on Shein.
Go on TikTok shop. There's a lot of options for you. For you girlies. But yes, anyways, way to veer off course, but that gave plenty of time for our people.
Okay, here's my question.
Spoiler alert. Yes.
Did you cry because you thought they should win, or are you a crier for like me? Like you just...
I was crying during the speeches. I was crying during and just tearing. Yeah. I'm not talking about, whatever, but I definitely cried for the winners. I was happy for them. Okay. We gave enough of a gap. The winners were Serena and Cordell, and they were coupled up from day one.
I wasn't surprised.
So it made sense. It was great. And I thought that they were, watching their relationship build over time. Like they were kind of like slow and intentional with everything. I mean, they had a blip with Casa Amor, but I feel like they like moved past it. I feel like he's super mature. She's a bad bitch. She's a bad bitch because I will just say, like, the way that Casa Amor went down, which is like, so you have to think these people are in this place for 3 weeks now with their couple, and you have no phones, and you're with them day and night, and you're sleeping together, and it's super intimate, and you're spending every second together, and then you get separated, and the guys get dumped in a house with these other women, and your emotions are already going because it's all unknown at the time. Then the girls get like a little video. The two most serious couples, the two most locked in couples, were the ones that like their boys were like exploring. And it was wild to see, but you saw two very different paths. Like there was Kaylor, who just bless her. God bless her. The waterworks. Like at first I started to feel really bad.
Man, the crying, I was just like, can she cut it out?
Yeah, you were texting me and you were like, I can't with all the crying. At first, when it happened and they were playing that fucking Ariana Grande song, and I was like, and it was the one that like guts you. And then they were playing Olivia Rodrigo, and it was just, it set the scene. And she's crying and I'm crying for her. But then after a while, it gets old, girl. Like, and she kept going back on the same thing. And I do get it. But at some point, like I was like, make your decision and just move forward with him. And because she already was moving forward with him. Like, you can't keep going backwards to the same thing.
Oh, yeah. She wouldn't let it go. I was just like, you already continue to choose this man. What are you crying for still? Stop it.
Yeah. Like at some point, like it was a little bit excessive. Then Serena they dealt the same cards, handled it completely differently. And I was like,
oh, she's like, you ain't seen these tears.
She was like, he doesn't deserve them. And even if she got choked up a little bit, she like picked herself right back up. She was like, fuck him. Like she was such a queen about it. And even Kaylor said, like, what an example, because like, I don't know how. I don't feel like I could be as strong as she was in that moment. She was something else.
I don't know how I would be like on TV, but I feel like I would try and I would be a see you next Tuesday. I feel like I would just go into attack
wish
mode.
I could be. I don't think I would be, because I think emotions are so heightened.
I look ugly when I cry, so I ain't trying to.
No, never that.
So I ain't trying to show the whole
never
world
that.
I'd be like, I'm sad about it, but I can be a
No,
boss bitch.
but I think these environments create, like, even some of the guys were crying, like they create such crazy emotions in there. I just know my ass would be down bad, but I think I would try and be strong, or look, I always try and look like, oh, it doesn't faze me.
What would Jess do?
I'm so good. Yes. What would Jess do? Hashtag Jess Vistal, you're a queen, just for Bachelorette. But yeah, I don't know. It was and Serena had such good empowering lines throughout. One of my favorites was like, she was so funny. Like when she stood up there at one point, she was like, one of her friends was doing some shit, and she was like, I support women's rights and wrongs. And I was like, I fucking love this girl. Like what I also love was like the friendship that they all formed, like a sisterhood in there, defending each other. It was so beautiful to see.
Yeah. And I told you my favorite part with her was when Cordell made breakfast for two of them. And then he brought her breakfast. She's like, don't you fucking dare bring that.
She flipped the breakfast on him. She was like, because he comes up there, he made breakfast for Serena and the other girl. The audacity. You know what you're doing.
And then you didn't give her the breakfast first? The nerve.
Yeah. She just literally pushed the plate up onto his whole ass stomach.
Meanwhile, the other girl's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. I was dead. That energy was something else for me. I loved that about her.
And like him, I feel like I was just like, damn, like at first you're like, oh, that's sweet. Like I'm feeling both. I'm going to make it. But then it's also like being on the other side. Yeah, it's like.
He was pretty, I will say, he was very patient with her and mature from the beginning, since you like kind of missed that. Like she was very slow. She was hesitant. She was kind of like a little bit one foot out, like trying to expose. Like she kind of did it right. Like she wasn't like totally locked in, like, but you could see their relationship just like they just got each other on another level, and that just only continued to build naturally. And I feel like it only makes sense that they won, and they were so mature. They were so unproblematic. Like, yes, the Casa Amor thing, but like the way they moved past it, he owned it. He took all her shit. She cussed him out.
Oh, yeah.
She threw food on him. She did her thing. And then he sat there and he was like, she's hurt. And I was like, damn, like.
Yeah, when they did the little like video thing that they were watching, and you know, they showed the scene of her crying. He was like, damn.
Because he saw her reaction to finding out what he had been up to, and it got to him.
Yeah.
So and the contrast too between that and like how Aaron was, I mean, it showed a different level of maturity. He was very like calm and patient. So this is what the show was about, so it happens, but like I commend how they worked through it, and I feel like they were super deserving.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yes, we're so happy.
Rooting for you guys.
For sure. I just have to say one thing about my girl Leah, because she was a hot mess and a half, but she owned it always. And her facials to me were so funny because a man would say, like, especially when she was with Rob in the beginning, because she was so into Rob and he really screwed her over. And he would say some out of pocket shit to her. And she just had these facials. She had this face like something smelled. Like she was like, and she would just hear him, like whatever bullshit him or any man would say.
Her face needs to be a meme.
Quite literally, like you cannot make this shit up. There is nothing that woman can hide.
That is so funny.
She was so funny.
So if her,
like
her mouth doesn't say it, her face does?
Oh, her face, her everything beyond. But what a queen. Love her. She got like over 1 million followers.
Oh, yeah. So fast. Wow.
That's what the crazy
Are you one
thing
of them?
Is. Actually, yes. I am. Proudly. Proudly love you, Leah.
Keep me posted on the journey.
Yes, I will. I will. Okay. Next order of business. You finally read Verity.
I did. And it took me a while just because, Colleen Hoover, like, love her. It Ends With Us, Starts With Us series. Right. Love that one. But then I read Ugly Love and I was like, I'm done with her. So right. I was like, I can't read Verity. I was just, but then I was like, okay, let me just zoom right through it. I already had it. So, and I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was pretty good. The ending, I still question a lot of things. Like I want to know.
Wasn't clear.
It wasn't clear. And I like, did the daughter, like the first daughter, did she actually die? Oh, spoiler.
Well, they know. We're talking about Verity.
Yeah,
guys. So
guys probably.
Like, come on.
But she died of an allergic reaction. But I'm like, did her, maybe her sister did, give her, I don't know. And then it was just a lot.
There was a lot going on. The ending is not quite exactly clear. Then there's like this other like extra chapters going around on Reddit,
which I haven't read.
So, I think that clears it up a little bit more. But for me, Verity it was a great book. It started off so good and I loved it. But to be honest, I haven't read it in a while to remember like all very specific things about the book. Like at a high level, I remember the book. And I remember my biggest takeaway was like with Verity, everybody is like, it's one of those books that everybody like pushes. Like it's like The Housemaid. It's like It Ends With Us. It's like one of those hyped up, like you have to read.
Yes.
Like the book talkers are all on this book. Like everybody's about it. So I went in being like, people love this book. And the last thriller I did that with was The Housemaid. And I was very happy. When I read Verity, I really was torn about a lot of the parts with like the kids. Like I'll deal with murders and crime and all that mystery stuff, but like the scenes about like killing kids and like wanting to abuse her babies was so hard for me to get through. Like the scene where she's like putting her fingers down a baby's throat and
trying to kill it, yeah.
Like literally trying to like gag the kid and like trying to kill the kid. Like, and she's going in such detail. Like, I don't buy the excuse where it's like, oh, because we're learning all of this from Verity's journal. I don't buy it where it's like, oh, this was a writing exercise and that was the excuse. Like you can write about anything dark as a writing exercise, but like killing your kids and desiring to kill your kids, that to me was not like, oh, she's off clean. Like she's really, like the reveal was supposed to be like, oh my God, she really didn't do these things and maybe she's not crazy. Like, no, I didn't feel that way. Like if you write things, if you're capable of that.
I watch a lot of crime shows where like in real life, there are women that are so obsessed with their partner that like they get jealous of their kids, So that wasn't bad for me just because I know there's other monsters out there and just reading it. And then we find at the end that maybe she didn't do all those things. Yeah. So for me, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I also have a sick mind. So
yeah, I just can't believe, like, I can't sit there and be like, when I read it, I was like, wow, this is the book everyone loved. Like I was a little bit, I'll deal with like the gory, crazy shit. But like that to me was like uncomfortable to read. So I was, and it's going to be made into like what, a show or a movie. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
See, I mean, I feel like I know we're gonna get into Pretty Girls, but I feel like that book was freaking sick too, with like what he was doing. Like,
totally.
I mean, yes, they're not kids.
They're not her babies. Like, it's just it was too much for me to get through. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll do Slaughters, I'll do the books that we read with the murders and the rapes and the bullshit, like, which is really hard. But it was another level for me. Like, I was like, oh my God, do moms read this? Like, this is super uncomfortable.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot, but I thought it wasn't that bad. Like I was able to stomach it and keep going.
For me also, like with a thriller book, I can't deal with like a thriller book that like hot take with Frida McFadden, for example. Like The Housemaid was amazing. However, once you keep reading them, like they all kind of have the same kind of thing. But I don't know that like you can't just write a thriller that's like you build. This isn't related to Verity, but just in general, when I read a thriller book, it's not done right if you're just writing all of these things, you're building these characters, you're telling us all these things,
and it ends quick,
and then they're like, just kidding, it's actually blah blah blah. And then you can do that about anything. You could literally, like, what is the point of setting the scene and doing all this character development just to undo it and randomly be like, and then all of a sudden like some random shit happens. Like the best thrillers that are well done have it like woven throughout, where there's little traces of hints of like that characteristic that like in the end you're like, oh my gosh, it was right in front of me, but I couldn't even guess it. That's a thriller done right.
See, I feel different. I like when there's a huge twist. Like I feel like if you're dropping hints, I'm gonna get it. I hate guessing it right.
Not enough where it's so obvious, but you can't just like sit there and be like, oh, Amanda and Elina are friends, like blah blah blah, and then you build this up the whole entire time, and then you're just like, just kidding. Like there's another guy that was actually there, and it was like, I don't know, like. All the work you did to build up the story doesn't make sense. The Housemaid makes sense. It's the way that I wanted it done. Like, because in between you still have unanswered questions, and there's things that don't add up, and then you get it.
Everything ties in too, which I like. Yes.
But I think that doesn't,
like we find out he's the way he was because of his mother. Then we find out she was being a see you next Tuesday because she was actually trying to get out.
Right.
So yeah, I think The Housemaid is definitely one of
a great example.
It's one of the only Frida McFadden books I like.
Don't read The Coworker, you guys.
Unless you like turtles.
Like too many turtles, too little time, Frida. But we do, we were support and love all authors. This is just our take. So
what'd you rate Verity then? I gave it a 5.
I don't even know if I rated it. I probably would have given it like a 3.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I didn't mind.
Just wasn't your cup of tea.
Like it's odd because for some people, like for you, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
So I knew for certain people, but for me, and shout out my friend Alyssa, not for us. Not for us. No.
You guys are so precious.
Yeah.
Stay sensitive. Stay good.
Yes. Should we do a quick Am I the Asshole, or should we get into our book, you think?
We're wrapping up the book, so we can do it if you want to.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do our little Am I the Asshole segment. I'm just going to summarize because it was a bit of a long one. But basically, this woman, she is a bride. She's getting married, and her parents are graciously covering the food for the wedding. So they wanted to help out. So she basically asked, like, am I the asshole because her and her husband are vegan? They want to have a fully vegan wedding. Her parents are paying for the entire food for the entire wedding, like the whole, dinner or the whole food, I guess, portion of the wedding. And she wants to have only vegan options because she says it's her wedding and her husband are vegan. But her family is saying you still have to have an option for people who aren't vegan, like do a meat or something. It doesn't have to all be, yes, you can incorporate vegan food, but it shouldn't be an entirely vegan menu. Is she the asshole?
So if I went to a vegan wedding,
right,
say I didn't know who paid for it regardless, like,
right,
okay, I would be kind of annoyed because are all your friends vegans? Like, I think you got to be a little considerate. Yes. Even if you have one dish that's not vegan, you know? Like, I think
just one.
It's just nice. Like, why? I mean, I know the wedding. I was going to say, why make it about you? But I know the wedding is like, about you. But I wouldn't want them to be, I wouldn't want guests to talk about the whole time, I can't believe they only have vegan food.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't they have, like, I feel like it's just, but then again, it's their wedding, do what you want. Yeah. But I think since her family is paying for it, be a little more considerate, especially if your family's not vegan.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's a fine line between, yes, it's all about you. And if you really want it to be, you guys elope or do something a little more low key. Like, if you're catering to a lot of people and you want them all there to celebrate you, like, okay, if you wanted to do a full vegan wedding and you had like this disclaimer, fine, but like your family is paying for it. And to me, I'm somebody who is like, I'm happiest when like the people around me and the people I love are happy. Like that's my love language. Like I want to make people around me feel good, be happy. Like if you and I are watching a movie and I know you want to see the other movie more than the movie I want to watch what you want to watch because I know I'll have a better time knowing you're good and you're enjoying like what you want. So I would want, I just think I think it's kind of wrong. I do. I think that especially if your family is
you're
paying,
an asshole.
yeah, you're an asshole. And I think if your family is paying for it, like,
be more open-minded.
Give them one damn option. Like,
well, think about it. It's like, when people do have weddings, they have a fish option for people that don't eat meat. They're not just thinking about themselves. Like, maybe I don't eat fish, but I'm still going to have that option for people. And this, not to like go off track, but think about bridesmaids. Yeah. If I was to have bridesmaids, I would just do a color. When you force someone that has, like you say, they all have different body types and you have them wear one dress, it's not flattering to everyone.
Totally.
I think that's fucked up too.
I think I agree. And there's like this whole thing with weddings where I'm like, it sucks because when you're a bridesmaid, it's like you're that's like one of your best friends and you want to feel your best. And when you feel totally like so bad about yourself, when it comes down to like them dictating your hair, makeup, and your outfit, like you don't even feel like yourself at that point. Let them at least like pick a color and let them all pick their style that they feel good in at the very least.
And you want them to look like themselves too.
Yeah.
Like if I never have my hair up,
and feel
why
good.
do I want
100%. I'm sorry. If you want me in your wedding, you are not getting an updo. You're not. And you know what? It's better for you because you don't want this big round face on display, on display, on display at Melissa Gorga. And also, why would we hide these luscious locks? Like, what are we doing that for?
Yeah, I think some things are definitely about like the couple, the bride, but then there's some things that I think are a little extreme, like have multiple food options.
Yes.
Let bridesmaid wear whatever they want. Pick a color.
Yes.
Be considerate. Don't sit me next to someone I hate.
Totally. I mean, I'm not going to out my friend who told me this, but she's going to know for real. But she's going to a wedding where they're not serving alcohol. And I mean, they kind of are in like a bit of a community where none of them really drink. So I kind of get that. But like, I just think that even if you want to have no alcohol at your wedding, like you should at least, which I think is so tacky and I would die, but like at least have like a cash bar or something. Like you have to offer it. You're hosting, you're a host. Like it's not just about what you want. It's just...
if it's like a finance thing, then I would give them the option to pay for themselves, and I think people would be understanding.
Yeah,
but I want to get turned at a wedding.
Yeah, for sure. Like no, everyone's leaving early, honey. And if you don't have food for them, they're gonna leave early.
You know what I want to do? Like if I even though I think I want something small, but if I did something big, I would like the little table, like it tells you what table you're at. I would do like the little tequila where it's like take a shot and then take your seat.
Ooh,
I want everyone to like be good,
like
feel
get lit.
good.
Yeah.
Yes, don't throw up.
Love that. Love that. Okay, let's get into our book. We finished Pretty Girls this week.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I cannot believe we finished. We read chapters 19 to the end. Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter. Thoughts?
I would say it was done well. Was I blown away? No. I thought the ending, everything kind of tied up. I liked how Claire became like this crazy chick out of nowhere and like took care of business. But I wish there was more of a twist.
Yes. That's what I think that my takeaway from that was, which yes, we saw a little bit of that in Claire with the like tennis racket and tennis gate, racket gate. But I think that we got the answer so early that it was like nothing else happened. Like I was sitting there and I was like, is the mom involved? Is something going on? Like for me, I wanted there to be something at the end that like blew my mind because we already knew. We knew, not only did we know, we suspected Paul from like day one. Like,
and I knew the dad didn't kill himself.
Yeah. So it was like, there's nothing here that we needed to like, we just like saw it out.
Yeah.
I loved the closure though, that like we did find Julia's body.
Yes. We found out the mom actually had a heart and she wasn't, she wanted to be in Julia's life.
Yeah, but I definitely needed more of a twist.
Julia, I'm sorry. What's the other sister's name?
Lydia.
Lydia's life, sorry.
Yes. So yeah, that moment, it was good. It was well done. It was well written. But I would say I was definitely waiting for just like a little something.
Do you want to know how I would have done it?
Let's hear it.
So I liked my twin theory because, it kind of sucked that Paul was like this sociopath that like did have this other side to him. I think he did love his wife, Claire. He liked the little image he had with her. Yeah. Most freaking serial killers do have like this upkeep of a normal life.
Yeah.
But they do things on the side. So I wish it was like a twin or, Adam was involved or someone else or, And I do like that at the end, the cop that, they thought was the a-hole ended up asking Claire out. He ended up liking her. So I liked that part. I thought Nolan. So I liked that part. But I would have just, once he started like attacking Lydia, I was like, oh, it really is him.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah, I know that would have been like, honestly, you could rewrite a lot of these thriller books. Like that twin theory would have been better than this ending.
I was like, I know. Because I'm like, it's too obvious to be him.
Yeah. Like even to the point, even when she got all the way to the end where she's like putting the house on fire and all of that, then she thinks like Paul is like kind of outside shot, and like let's just say like it starts to collapse on them and they're about to like die in there, and then all of a sudden the real Paul comes in and he scoops in,
and his brother like faked his death. Yeah, it would have been so good. I did cry. Like the beginning got me just because when he did like fake his death, I was like, oh my God, I was like bawling. I was like, oh my God, so sad.
Yeah.
But we can go through ratings, but I still think, so I rated it a 5.
Okay.
I thought storyline was good. I thought the way she like made, like we saw his evil side and then his nice side. I liked kind of seeing both. I love how Claire became like this badass at the end. So it was done well. I like how she answered everything. Nothing was left, where I'm like, what happened there? No questions. So I would give it a 5. I would recommend it. And I would say I probably would read another book from her.
Yeah, I would definitely read one of her books again. I thought it was well written. I enjoyed it. I was due for a thriller. I would give it a 4. And yeah, I think I was just waiting for a little bit more at the end to like just seal the deal for me. So, but yes.
Do I give all thrillers a 5? I'm like, if it was
you're like, decent. Yes, I know, that's me. I'm like, love story 5.
You're like housemaid twist, crazy, good 5, and then you're like everything else 4.
Yeah, well, Housemaid was like that first big thriller that I read, and it was the one too, and so then everything else pales in comparison.
Oh, we went on a Frida McFadden like rabbit hole after that book.
Yes.
And then I was like, wait, I should have just
stopped
after that.
But yeah, it was a great read. We enjoyed it. Karin, you're a queen. And on to the next. So next week, we're very excited. We're going to have a very special guest, special to the show. Might have a little crush on this guest.
He's a homie for sure.
He's a homie for you. So author of No Silver Spoons, Trey Forte, is going to be on our pod next week. He was also on Love Island, so it kind of ties into our chat today a little bit.
Fitness guru.
He gives us some fitness tips.
Yes, and he tells us his favorite smoothie recipe.
Yeah, so you got to tune in for that. His book, No Silver Spoons, is so good. It's like motivational mindset book, but it's just so much deeper than that. I feel like you get a little bit of everything from it, and it's an easy, good read. Like it's such a great book. So we're very excited to have Trey on next week.
Yes, and he also adds poems at the end of each chapter, which I absolutely loved.
Yes, I love that part about the book, and they're really good. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you did
I was like,
there.
I gotta read my favorite.
Yes. So for sure, we're super excited for that. You guys can have a little bit of a reading break in terms of like a section of chapters, but definitely check out No Silver Spoons by Trey Forte. You can get it on Amazon.
Do you want to maybe give them a little like sneak peek on, a little what's going to be next? What we're reading?
Oh, yeah.
If they want to get a head start, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even really know I don't know the author's name.
Is it called Old People?
It's called The Perfect Couple.
Oh.
Can we keep that in?
The Old People.
I'm keeping that in. I'm telling you right now. I wasn't prepared for this because it was impromptu. She's like, let's just reveal the next book. So I wasn't ready.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I had no.
And she said The Old People.
Guys, if you've been watching since the beginning, you understand Amanda's not good with words. She's not good, like, with my Molly thing. Like, I'm just not good at hold down the fork. Like,
what was that book that we read? It was like The House Across the Street or something, and you kept calling
The House on the Left or something?
Yeah, or something like that. Or The House Across the Lake. Like, it just changed so many times. But it's just so great, and that's why we love this podcast, and we love you.
Yeah. I'm not good with names or sayings, or like I'm so bad.
She's like, I'm not good with, and don't have me speak, but here, watch my podcast. Okay, so
what incarnations? Like I'm just a hot mess.
We love that about you. You're a gem.
No, I swear I don't think it's cute to be stupid. I'm just a little.
You're not stupid at all by any means. I'm not friends with people who are dumb or ugly. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
She's not.
I'm kidding. Austin, don't clip that for for social media. Okay, so we're reading The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hilderbrand. I didn't want to mess up her last name, so that's why I had to look it up.
Okay.
The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hilderbrand. Get your copy. We'll announce chapters next week. We'll put them in our description. Actually, we'll just put them in the description of this episode and next episode so you guys know. And once we figure that out, and yeah, we're very excited to get started on that. Amanda?
Do you want to plug in our socials? Yes, I do.
We are turned this evening.
Swear it's water. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at Book Please Podcast. And then we also created a Facebook group. You know, it's kind of like a place where you can give us recommendations. We can tell you what we're reading, catch up on the books we're reading currently on the pod at Book Please Podcast/booklets. Thanks, guys.
See us there.